You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 4th of March. PM Modi leads wildlife conservation drive, unveils key initiatives. Pakistani and Afghan security forces clash at border crossing, killing at least one. And Muhammad Yunus dismisses concerns over Bangladesh-India relations. And now for all the details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaffirmed his commitment to wildlife conservation with a visit to Vantara in Gujarat. Engaging with rescued animals and inspecting advanced veterinary care, he marked World Wildlife Day by announcing major initiatives including a National Referral Center for Wildlife and cheetah reintroduction, emphasizing AI-driven conservation efforts. Take a look.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaffirmed his commitment to wildlife conservation during his visit to Vantara, an animal rescue and rehabilitation center in Gujarat's Jamnagar district. He explored its state-of-the-art facilities, interacted with rehabilitated animals, and inspected the wildlife hospital equipped with MRI, CT scans, and ICU. He also observed an Asiatic lion undergoing MRI and a life-saving surgery on a rescued leopard. PM Modi shared heartwarming moments with various animals, including Asiatic lion cubs, a white lion cub, a rare clouded leopard cub, and caracal cubs. His visit coincided with World Wildlife Day, where he emphasized biodiversity protection and chaired the 7th National Board for Wildlife meeting at Sasangir in Junagadh. He advocated for integrating traditional knowledge with AI, machine learning, and geospatial mapping to address forest fires and human-wildlife conflicts, in collaboration with BISAGN and the Forest Survey of India. Key conservation initiatives announced include the National Referral Center for Wildlife at Junagadh, the 16th Lion Estimation Cycle, expansion of ecotourism, and habitat improvements for Asiatic lions in Barda Wildlife Sanctuary. He also unveiled plans for cheetah reintroduction, a gharial conservation project, a national action plan for the Great Indian Bustard, and targeted efforts for species like the sloth bear. He stressed that conservation extends beyond protecting species to fostering harmonious coexistence between humans and nature. Extending his World Wildlife Day wishes, PM Modi urged Indians to take pride in the nation's leadership in conservation, stating, "Every species plays a vital role. Let's safeguard their future for generations to come."
India on Monday slammed UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk after he made reference of Jammu and Kashmir and Manipur in his global update at the UN Human Rights Council. Dismissing his remarks, India's permanent representative to the United Nations in Geneva, Arindam Bagchi, termed the references unfounded and baseless and asserted that India remains the world's largest democracy, continuing to be healthy, vibrant and pluralistic society. Bagchi emphasized that concerns about India's human rights situation are misplaced and fail to align with ground realities. He particularly took exceptions to Turk's mention of Jammu and Kashmir, which was erroneously referred to as Kashmir in the report. Highlighting the region's progress in 2024, Bagchi pointed to improved peace, high voter turnout in local elections, booming tourism and rapid development. He added that Turk's global update itself needs a genuine update. The Indian envoy also criticized the report for oversimplifications of complex issues and accused it of employing sweeping and generalized remarks with apparent cherry-picking of situation, a veiled reference to the omission of Pakistan despite its well-documented human rights concerns. Bagchi suggested that the Office of the High Commissioner should take a long and hard look in the mirror to address the concerns it has raised globally.
The people of India have repeatedly proven wrong such misplaced concerns about us. We would urge a better understanding of India and our civilizational ethos of diversity and openness, which continue to define our robust and often cacophonous civic space. Nothing illustrates this divergence more than the passing reference to Jammu and Kashmir, erroneously referred to as Kashmir, ironically in a year that stood out for that region's improving peace and inclusive progress, be it the large turnout provincial elections, the booming tourism, or the rapid development pace. Clearly, the global update needs a genuine update.
Pakistani and Afghan security forces clashed on Monday at the recently shuttered main border crossing between the two countries, killing at least one combatant and injuring several. The conflict erupted on the first working day of the Ramadan, when food imports from Pakistan usually peak in Afghanistan, which is facing a humanitarian and hunger crisis. A 10-day-old closure of the Torkham border point has stranded thousands of trucks filled with essential goods. The Taliban-run Afghan Interior Ministry said the latest firing took place overnight and that one Taliban fighter had been killed and two injured. The neighboring countries have a strained relationship with Pakistan, saying that several Islamist militant attacks in the country have been launched from Afghan soil, a charge that Taliban denies. Pakistani military aircraft carried out strikes that killed dozens on Afghan territory in December. The educational landscape in POJK remains a stark reminder of the occupied region's neglect. Locals lament the government's inability to improve the situation. A report.
The education sector in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has continued to deteriorate. Residents lament the government institutions suffer from corruption, inadequate infrastructure, and a severe shortage of qualified teachers, all exacerbated by political interference. Frustrated by the system's failure, many parents are compelled to enroll their children in private schools despite the financial burden.
वहाँ पे हुकूमत ये नहीं देखती कि किस अदारे की कितनी कारकर्दगी अच्छी है, इसके स्टाफ को जो है वहाँ पे तैनात रखा जाए, उनकी हौसला अफजाई की जाए, उनको बाख्तियार बनाया जाए, उसके बजाय सियासी बुनियादों पे उनके तबादले कर दिए जाते हैं। तो प्राइवेट तालीमी इदारे जो है उनमें सियासी मुखालफत, सियासी मुदाखलत भी नहीं है, सियासी मुखालफत भी नहीं है, और वहाँ पे जो भी बच्चा दाखिल होता है वहाँ पे पढ़ाने वाले साथी जो है जो फीमेल स्टाफ है या मेल स्टाफ है वो तालीमी लिबास से तो इतने ज़्यादा पढ़े लिखे नहीं होते, लेकिन मेहनत वो ऐसी कराते हैं कि निजी तालीमी इदारों के नताइज जो है वो इस वक्त बहुत ही हौसला अफजा हैं।
For years, residents of POJK have yearned for a better administration that prioritizes their development. However, the ground reality in the occupied region suggests that their concerns and aspirations are largely ignored.
Bangladesh Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus on Monday dismissed the concerns over the relationships between Dhaka and New Delhi, that the bilateral ties between the two nations remain solid and will continue to be so in the future. Speaking to BBC Bangla, Yunus dismissed concerns of any major deterioration in relations, adding that ties between both countries are historically, politically and economically significant and cannot deviate from that. While acknowledging that clouds have appeared in the relationship, he insisted that these were mainly a result of misinformation and added they were working to overcome that. When asked about communication with New Delhi, the interim government chief said there's constant communication diplomatically, as he highlighted his telephonic conversation with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi after assuming office. Relations between New Delhi and Dhaka have been under strain after four-time Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fled to India after a massive protest that killed hundreds led to her ouster. The subsequent caretaker administration led by Hasina's ARC-4 Yunus has faced repeated criticism from India over its handling of attacks on Bangladesh's Hindu and other minority communities. Sri Lanka should avoid tax exemptions and focus on passing a national budget that is in line with parameters set by the International Monetary Fund to continue with a $2.9 billion program from the international lender, an IMF official said on Tuesday. Sri Lanka mounted a remarkable recovery from a deep financial crisis triggered by a record shortfall of dollars 3 years ago, the IMF said after approving a fourth tranche of $334 million. The IMF senior mission chief Peter Breres said, however, island nation must now boost tax compliance, improve targeting of social welfare and smoothen capital spending to support better management of public finances. The IMF also backed restoring cost recovery electricity pricing to bolster finances of the island nation's power monopoly after Sri Lanka reduced tariffs by 20% in January. Additionally, he said it's crucial that Sri Lanka finalize bilateral agreements with official creditors. The IMF finalized the third review after Sri Lanka's new president, Anura Kumara Dissanayake, rolled out his first full-year budget last month. The budget included committing to a primary surplus target of 2.3% of GDP for 2025 set under the IMF program. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Till then, goodbye and take care.